What is up, guys? I'm back here today with another video. Sorry for not uploading for the last week. I was kind of just a bit busy, but I did manage to dwindle my backlog down uh, to a bit, about half of my backlog I managed to get rid of in the last week. And also that means I can make a lot more videos like first impressions and stuff, because I read a lot more new series and I want to talk about them. Mostly they are positives. And speaking of first impressions, today is my first impression for Children of the Whales. So obviously I just recently finished this first volume and I thought it was fantastic and something I wanted to talk about in a video. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Now the first thing I want to say that's a very good point in this is the world building. It is probably the best I've seen in a manga of late. Everything's really in depth in terms of the world surrounding the characters, and everything is we kind of learn a lot about the world just in this one volume, especially about the Mud Whale, which is where our characters, or most of our characters, live. And you kind of learn about the sand surrounding them, but there's also kind of a sense of eerie mystery around everything that's happening there, which is pretty cool. It's not just everything dumped on you in the first volume, everything big. Although you learn stuff, there's definitely still a sense of mystery behind what is going on here, and that's kind of what I thought this manga is. There's a bit more of a mystery and a bit more weird goings on about it rather than most manga that you read. It's kind of just a lot of stuff is left to the imagination until you find out. You can kind of just it's pretty easy to make assumptions and make guesses on what you think is going to happen, although a lot of the time it adverted my expectations, especially in this volume where I thought something was going to happen and it didn't. I think Children of the Whales in the future will be a series that adverts expectations a lot, but the world building in general in this series and learning a lot about the world around our characters is very good. But the only issue that comes to mind when doing that kind of world building is that you lose a little bit of character development that could be seen if there wasn't so much world building. However, because I feel like this is going to be a longer running series, I'm not too worried about a lack of character progression just in the first volume. I believe the mangaka is good enough to kind of progress characters in further volumes, so I'm not too worried about there being a lack of progression. So if you're going into this series, just bear in mind, in this first volume there's not too much of it, but personally I wouldn't be too worried, as I believe there will be in the future. There's a decent amount of characters introduced with their own kind of unique personalities, or what we learn from them is kind of unique. So I think that's definitely going to be explored upon in the future. So far it's only got 6 volumes out, but I think the series will be running for longer than that. But yeah, the world building is definitely really good in this volume. A few characters stand out. Obviously our main character, Chakuro, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the driving force of the series. He's a decent main character, but not the best. You don't really know too much about his backstory, but I think he's a decent main character, and I think he does have room to progress, similar to most of the other characters in the series. But he's one of the driving forces of the series, and I do think he's one of the better characters. Then there's Lycos, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a goal that they find. I don't want to spoil it actually, but it's a goal in the series that doesn't live on the mod world that they find. But I won't say any more after that. She's also an interesting character, and I feel like her power that she has running through her is probably the most powerful, if not the second most powerful in the series at the moment. She just seems like we haven't really seen her fight properly because for certain events, but I feel like in the future when she does fight properly, maybe potentially in the very near future, she'll kind of show up her powers and probably be the most powerful character in the series. And she was pretty cool as well. A lot of mystery surrounding her and where she came from. Again, another element of mystery within the series. And then Unai, I think is how you say it, is also another cool character who is the most powerful character in the series at the moment, and is what you consider a criminal, but I wouldn't really say he is a criminal. If you read the series, you'd kind of understand what I mean. But if the simple question is, would I recommend this Children of the Whales? 100%. I think this series is really interesting. The artwork complements it very well. The only issue I take with the artwork is that it's a bit difficult at the beginning when you're getting used to it, to distinguish the male and female characters. Something that's kind of, I find that a lot in some manga, where you just simply can't tell who are the male and female characters. Like, there's some instances where obviously you can tell who's male, but then there's just some characters that are introduced where you can't tell whether they're male or female until it's specified. But the more you get used to the artwork, the easier it is to tell the difference. So it's just a case of getting used to it. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking up this first volume, and if mystery is something that interests you as a genre, then you'll definitely enjoy this. It's a mystical world as well, and yeah, like I said, world building fantastic. Characters, a bit more room for development, but definitely characters that I enjoyed and I think have potential to be amazing in the future. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on. I'll try to keep these like spoilerless, and kind of little. It's something I'm not going to do all the time, but after a few of my first impressions, I might give you an option as to which series you want me to do first impressions on next. So I thought I'd do that now, because there's two series I'm kind of deciding as to which to make a video on next, and that is My Hero Academia Vigilantes and The Ancient Magus Bride. I've read both of these, and I just wanted to know, I want to give my impressions on both of them, but I just wanted to know which one you want me to do first, or what I'll do. The next first impressions will be whichever one you guys choose, and then the other series will definitely come, but just a bit later in the future. So just tell me which one you guys want me to give my first impressions and talk about, either My Hero Academia Vigilantes or The Ancient Magus Bride. It's up to you guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed my first video back after a week, and have a great day. Peace.